So that's fun. Um, so that was a critical system process that I just disrespected and used who's it's the thingy um, command line to kill. So yay, that's why the computer dumped. Good news, bad news on that. My Steam is now acting up. So hooray! Um, the entire mm, you know, command line. I don't really appreciate it when you lie to me. Um, it says that my library screen is currently up. It is not. Yup. So if anybody has any particular knowledge of how Steam works, when we're doing all this fun stuff, that'd be good to know. Um, we're having a bit of a problem at the moment. So we may have to do some Linux magic. um, why not? Let's pop up pretzel. Do this next little bit. Alright, Steam for Linux is here. We will quit out, exit. Oop, wait. Might get the game up. Because I right-click the other place. Haha, I'm a genius. Don't I wish? Okay. So this should do it. It is still terribly it is terribly laggy still. God, what is going on? Top. Against the Storm, SteamWeb. SteamWeb Helper? I don't know why we're having such a hard time with this. So, here, let's actually show you what I'm talking about. I mean, you saw it before, but... Alright. So here we should see normal rain coming down, and every time I bring the cursor over something, it should be, like, instantaneous. I didn't even hit anything. Something automatically... Let's unplug our controller. Not that that should be doing anything at the moment, but nonetheless. The thing's spinning slightly better, maybe. I don't know what is going on. So I've been having some other, well, maybe not Steam related, but some other issues. Yeah, no. Oh, man. I don't know what the issue is. There's nothing that's eating up that much in the way of resources. I don't want it to be like that. Come on. No. Okay. 800% CPU. Cool. So it may be inappropriately allocating, but at the same time that tells me that we're using 8 cores. So, like, that shouldn't be an issue. Hey, Les. What do you know about Linux? So, like, right now, this should be able... I should be able to move this around, and that green box should be following the cursor, like, instantaneously. Now, in theory, because the window is not selected, it may be something else, but... So... Okay, we've got one particular process that's eating up a whole bunch. High CPU usage of GNOME shell. Alright, there's one. So, possible memory leak. Good news. Check your background, your theme, and whether you're running Google Cloud SDK. Okay. Only option available at the time is to kill X server. Checked a task manager like thing. Shows this process consuming CPU. Yeah, but I don't have a theme and I don't have a bunch of other stuff. So we can... Cool. Okay, there we go. Okay, PS minus EL. So I got a bunch of stuff that says like K-Worker in it. UVC video. Which is the only thing that looks to me like slightly suspicious. Just because I haven't really done anything. And we're back. Sorry. Pipe wire. OBS, of course. Firefox using a bit, but not that much. Alright, so we may just be having problems with our AMD stuff. Yeah, it's not like I'm using a theme. Like I literally don't have a theme. Certainly didn't change anything. When was this asked? This is an 8-year... Jesus. Question asked 8 years ago. Let's try top again. 23. Again, apologies if I do end up killing this computer just by myself here, but it might be worth it at this point. Uh-oh. Okay, well, I'm still here. We appear to have killed against the storm. And OBS is currently using 2.5 to 3 CPUs worth of stuff. OBS browser page, I don't know even what that is using another CPU worth of resources. And GNOME shell. Negligible amounts of memory across the board. GNOME shell's 3%. Okay. Automatic. No, I don't want to do that. Okay. Let's try this. So we're going to go and do the stupid thing. Yeah, okay. So it's not doing anything with any of these 8 upgrades that it's been holding back for a little bit here. So it says it's not doing it because of phasing. It'll wait until it feels like it before actually doing it. Probably a few more restarts. Who knows? I still don't know why OBS is using so much in the way of resources. I didn't think it was that high before. Okay. This other one. Connection broken. Used explicit killer server shutdown. Yep. I did. Trying to close low-level socket support. Still have sockets open. Okay. Why did it open Steam that way? That's weird. Okay, so it still is trying to open my library window for Steam, and it's still not working. Alright, let's try Against the Storm one more time. Still looking a little choppy already. If only slightly. Yep. It's gonna have the same problem. Well, this is not fair or fun or good. Yep. Alright, so that goes away. Then we're going to close Steam altogether. Unfortunately, need to leave OBS up for the moment. Alright. OBS browser page eating 42 gig worth of virtual memory. And that's in the background. So that's not even... Do I unload? Browser page. One of these is still working. Unload. Shut down source when not visible. Refresh browser when it becomes active. Okay, good. So now, where's the other one? Webcam. Nope. 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 Browser. Oh no. Okay. Shut down source when not visible. Refresh browser when it becomes active. Is it like stream elements? That seems weird. Shut down source when not visible. Okay, so I got that one too. Unload image when not showing. Yep. Well, that's unfortunate. Because I don't know. Don't know where the issue is. That's very unfortunate. Okay, so let's do top. And let's wait. Hit kill. And then we'll do 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Alright, again, if this completely destroys it and we go away, I'm sorry. But in theory, this will free up a lot of memory. So like yes and no. So it still says OBS is running 300% CPU. So 3 cores of the CPU are running to just keep OBS running. One zombie. Ooh. Let's go and look then. How do we find... Find zombie process Linux. Yeah, PS command. .526 total, 2 running and 523 sleeping. That's cute. Okay. Had a bonfire night at the school tonight, so the kids were able to get like kind of our little own private bonfire and fireworks display. It was kind of cool. Fireworks displays as much as they could be private. We had front row seats in that they were approximately 200 feet diagonal from our faces. Okay. PS aux line egrep z line defunct. Zombies are listed here. Yup. SDE speak. Don't know what that is. Cool. Okay. PS minus O, PPID equals minus P number. That's not here. Okay. Minus E grep number. Speech dispatch. Okay. Well, hey Megalomorph. We're having some problems with Linux. I mean, probably you just need to nuke the whole thing and start all over, but I didn't like doing that the first time, and I don't think I'd like to do it again. Yes, I'm sorry. Hello there. Alright, this is not taking up particularly much in the way of resources, so I think we're okay with that. We exited Steam, so all right. We're going to go to the archive stable repository from repo.steampowered.com. We're going to pull the Steam keyring, steam.gpg. This should then be cut and copied to etc. apt sources. Okay, that's the only one that actually exists. We'll go there. Sure, why not? Steam. Okay. User share keyrings. Apparently that was the wrong place. And then copy in steam.gpg, which this one is 1.9 kilobytes, the one we want to paste in. Oh, come on now. Jerks. Cut. Paste. I cannot paste. Really? I cannot delete it. Cool. Alright, so that means we need to go and do this through the console as well. So we do cd space. No. cd. Yeah. cd space. That puts us back at home. How do we access Ubuntu? How do we access the other drives? It's been a real long time since I've done this. It's the only way to be sure, yeah. Just like if we find some of those, like, gigantic aliens in, who's it? Satisfactory? I'm sure there's some way to do it. Access. USR. Share. Okay. If we go back to here. No. I really, literally just want to get the other one. I know that I've done this before in the past, so it should not be this hard. Okay. Do not run that command on literally anything. It will ruin everything. Okay. Hey, Sensation, how's it going? Category just facing. Yeah. We have been attempting to run a few different games on Steam. And unfortunately, it seems my install is borked or something, and so I was hoping that I could update Steam via the command line and this other site that I'm using. Who's it? repo.steampowered.com. I'm having a slight problem, oddly enough, getting to navigate in the command line to go to a different drive. It's ridiculous. Computers run out of steam. Just about. Okay. So if we, in theory, go to cd space downloads, dir, steam.gpg, right. So we're going to move gpg space slash user slash it's not user, it's etc. Etc. Wait, is it? No, it was user. Right, user share keyrings. Yep. Nice. Just did it. It is 1.9 kilobytes. I think that was right. Modified 8 November. That's today. Cool. So, permissions read and write. Lol. Because I made you do it. Alright, that will unapologetically overwrite the file. So I don't recommend doing it necessarily. Okay. Then sudo t etc. apt sources steam stable list. Okay, Debian Arch is AMD64 signed by keyrings. Okay, makes sense. Alright, this is going to be a lot of weird typing. Everybody's favorite. So the steam.gpg is a keyring that should, in theory, that is not it. No. What the hell? Okay. That's one hell of a key. Alright, cool. Well, we'll try to do this. See if it works. I know it did work last time, but that was when I had basically nothing on here, so. Alright, sudo t slash etc slash t slash source t slash steam stable e 0 f. Okay, Debian arch equals AMD64 comma I 386 sign dash by equals slash user share keyrings steam.gpg and bracket space https:// repo.steampowered.com/steam/space stable steam debian-search arch equals AMD64 comma I 386 sign dash by equals slash user share keyrings steam.gpg and bracket space https/ whatever repo steampowered.com/steam/space stable space steam E0F. Depackage. Add. Right. Install space backslash. Then that thing. That thing. In theory, I might have done it. So if I just click on the icon for Steam, well, it's in top, which means that it's running. Crumb18. Good evening and welcome. My name is Obi-Wan Pez, and this is N-Simplex Pachinko. We do mathy stuff on Tuesdays and gamey stuff on Fridays, and then whatever I feel like in between. right now we are trying to get Steam to run properly. So um, basically at the moment I'm just reinstalling Steam off of the Linux launcher, or off of the Steam-powered website. There's like a backdoor for Linux users, of course, um, with a whole bunch of information on how to make, how to get and then properly install the Linux version. You have to do a whole bunch of command line stuff, so yay. That was about 5 minutes. It's fine. No, same problem. So the Steam window itself, the window that normally pops up and over on your right hand side is like the list of all your games with the library. I typically have it in small mode. When I right click that, first of all, it doesn't show up. Second of all, when I click it, right click it, and ask it to show me what the window is. So there's like a preview thing at the top of the screen. There's nothing there. So if I open up the Friends window, which works just fine, if I open up the Friends window, then it, I can see a little tiny preview of our Friends window, but the Steam app itself doesn't show up at all. So that's slightly worrying. I'm not exactly sure what the problem is. So, like, good news, bad news, right? Bad news, I'm pretty sure that we need to reinstall something else, probably our AMD drivers. Okay. It's not that. Alright, kworker is a placeholder process for kernel worker threads which perform most of the actual processing for the kernel, especially in cases where there are interrupts, timers, input, output, etc. These typically correspond with to the vast majority of any allocated system time to running processes. It's not something that can be safely removed from the system in any way, hooray, and is completely unrelated to the Nepomuk or KDE, except in that these programs may make system calls which may require the kernel to do something. Okay. Reports of excessive kworker activity for relatively idle systems starting during 2.6.36 development. Around Ubuntu 10 point something. We're on 24.04 right now. Wide reports of confusion and problems with 2.6.38. Found many reports of something that fixed this for one user or another. Most fixes seem to be related to updates of the kernel of various sorts. Well, I don't like that idea. Where the update can be tracked to a specific issue, it seems often to be some driver or kernel service, probably, has been patched to not misbehave. Have the impression there are a very large number of things in the kernel that can cause the behavior, which is observed as excessive kworker usage. If you find the system unusable due to excessive kworker activity, I would recommend trying to do fewer things. If you think you're not doing anything, try shutting down long-running services or timers, RSS readers, mail readers, file indexers, activity trackers, etc. If this doesn't work, try restarting. Already restarted. If your system allows you to enable or disable hardware in a pre-boot environment, try turning off hardware you aren't using. Okay. If it happens on every restart before you do anything, you could try uninstalling things. Yeah. Had a slow login problem. Hmm. Each of these things must have an exclusive delay of 1 because everything else depends on them. User bin gnome keyring. When all 60 apps start up at the same time, the ones above take longer to complete, and so the whole desktop stays unavailable. I mean, possibly, but we've never had any sort of real actual problems. Alright. Well, that doesn't appear to help. Execute the following. Echo minus L. Nope. L space greater slash proc sys rick dash trigger creates a backtrace. Needs you to log in with sudo minus s. Do this several times. Watch the backtraces at the end of the dmessage output. See what happens frequently in the backtraces. Hopefully it points you to the source of the problem. Permission denied, yes. Because I didn't put the other thing on there. Boo. Permission is denied. Alright. Well, that's too bad. can't do demessage. Alright, so we're running a perf 10-second record. Let's see if we can backtrace all of the... Mm-hmm. Ooh. Hmm. Cool. $41 MB. Nice. Oh man. All right. Disabling something in the VMX file prevented the module from loading. Got the system back to normal speed. Hey, Machine Rex. How's it going? There is a lot of LLVM pipe dash number. So far, I think I see all the numbers 1 through 9. Granted, it doesn't seem to be using a whole lot of, or it didn't exist for all of the particular flops that go through this whole period. Oi. Right. OBS browser page, like, what is that? Help. Hog CPU and doesn't close. Okay. When OBS crashes, it doesn't have the chance to kill these processes, so you have to kill them manually. Okay, that's fair. So, it does mean that we will need to go through and actually kill each of these individual, or just restart the whole computer. But, you know, we don't want to do that. 6, 2, 15, drop. Hey, thank you for the follow. And that does mean we have now made it to our 525 follower goal. So next stream, well, I mean, I can even do that right now, but we will level that up to 550 as our next follower goal. Was that the one? There we go. Yep. So this is the level we were going to start, and then everything went to hell. So we have not had a chance to actually play this game tonight, even though I'm in its category, and I apologize greatly. We're doing ads now, so yay. Damn it. All right, 2 minutes. That's not what I wanted. Nope. Manage goals. Woo! Okay, so we're back. Sorry for that. We have now added the new goal of 550 followers. Thank you so much for the follow. And we will pull out, thank you very much, Mean Machine Rex. We're going to be going into an entry from John Gould's Maine Lingo, a wicked good guide to Yankee vernacular. This is modeled after the storytelling project of two men, Marshall Dodge and Robert Bryan. who were roommates at Yale University and decided to, or they heard tell of a group of storytellers from Maine, specifically in what's called the Down East area. Down East Maine is um, so Maine kind of goes like that ish at its bottom corner, and then it just goes straight up along the border with New Hampshire, pretty much. So down east is kind of that area in here where the town of Bar Harbor, or as they would call it, Bahaba, is. And Rex, if you would pick a letter, please. What's your favorite? I could do it randomly, but you know. So Robert Bryan and Marshall Dodge heard tell of this storytelling style, and they actually went to Down East Maine and traveled all over and made it a subject of one of their theses. I think was based on it. And then they decided to write their own stories in the style of these Down East Maine storytellers who were real people in the 1970s ish. And they wrote and performed a series of stories which they titled Bert and I, or as the rest of us would have it, Bert and I. And they noted that most of the stories had kind of an interesting quality to them. They oftentimes had sound effects that were added by the people who were telling them, and oftentimes other people who were there would interject with various alterations of the story, or no, I remember it differently. I remember it differently. You got it all wrong. All right, gonna do random then. We might have to do that one. And actually, Sensation, you would recognize the entry just above it, which is poorly. I'll give you a bonus one for this one, just because, again, um, I recognize this as something that people from Yorkshire say. All right, so the bonus one that I'm just doing for my own benefit here is poorly. This word goes with nicely as to the state of one's health. If you cannot claim to be doing nicely, your answer will be poorly. The words are also used like this. Oh, Lem's been poorly all winter, but he's nicely now. So oftentimes in Yorkshire, if you are calling into the school to say that your child is sick today, they will ask if he's poorly. And the one under it was Poor Man's Fertilizer, which I had to see exactly what that was. I mean, come on, right? Which says, See Robin Snow. I was like, okay, now I don't have any idea where this is going. So, Robin Snow is a light fall of perhaps an inch or two, coming in late spring as an afterthought of winter. It's usually fluffy and wet and makes for a beautiful morning, but it soon melts. Considered good for greening landscape, a robin snow is also called poor man's fertilizer. I was like, is it because robins like fertilize your lawn? No, apparently it's just literally snow. All right, so we are gonna take a look and see if there's any more OBS pages. I don't think there are, but you never know. No. All right. There might be a few other things that we need to fix a bit later. GNOME shell still using a lot. Steam Web Helper. What the hell? Top computer repairs. All right, you know what? Screw that. Okay, so we're gonna close Steam, which should then close a whole bunch of these processes. Maybe. Okay. And now OBS is down to 270% of CPU instead of over 300. And we also don't have Steam Web Helper because I closed it. So that makes sense. All right, start Steam again. Yeah, it's man. I've got multiple Steam Web Helpers up, which are taking over 30 gigs of virtual memory each. I mean, that obviously does not look right. No, don't do that. No. Don't gaslight me. Disable all this extra stuff while you're here. Yeah, okay. Uninstall the last 2 or 3 Windows updates. Yeah, there's a problem with that. Animated avatars and Steam overlay can cause this problem. In rare circumstances, a bad Windows update. Now, granted, right, I don't have Windows, so it's not necessarily that. But it also wasn't having this problem a couple of days ago. So, there's something new. I suspect, again, it was me trying to update my CPU or GPU drivers. That is eating up everything. Right. So, this means that I need to. I don't even know anymore. Alright, I'm going to download this just in case, keep it for later, but I'm not going to actually use it. That's our Steam library Debian file link. So it's not a Debian, or it is a Debian file itself, but I don't think it has anything really in it. It's only 14 kilobytes. So we'll hang on to that just in case, but again, I don't think we're going to actually need it for anything. Man. Alright, AMD GPU. I have an all. I don't think I want an all. I think I want a Linux. Okay, so let's assume for the moment that at this point we need to look up AMD GPU drivers. We're getting Linux asterisk. Radeon. How big is this? Yeah, it's 16 kilobytes. Teeny. Right, so it's the same thing. It's just not Pro. Should be that one. Yeah, that's the one I have. A bunch of release names. Okay, so I think that our Ubuntu um, asked for this thing so many times, you think I'd remember it. LSB, there we go. LSB under release -A. Codename Noble 24041 LTS. Right? We're not doing pre-release. So we have not updated to 2410. Oh. If I had just scrolled down, it would have told me the same command as well. So that's too bad. Okay, these are released in a time-based fashion every 6 months according to a planned schedule. Fun times. Really? Oracular Oriole. Okay. If you need long-term support, we recommend you use 24041 LTS, which is supported at least until 2029. Cool. Upgrades to 2410 will refresh seeded snaps to the appropriate snap channels, regardless of what was being tracked before. Snaps that are newly seeded will be installed during that upgrade. Following snaps will be installed or refreshed on upgrade. Core, Desktop Security Center, GNOME, Mesa, Prompting Client, Firefox, Thunderbird, Snapd. Okay. New features in 2410. OpenSSL, Linux kernel, Systemd, NetPlan. Mm-hmm. Okay. So 24041 came out August of 2024. Will be supported through June 2029, so we're good there. For quite a while. Noble. We're still having problems here. So, like, something changed just in the last day. And probably me trying to install AMD drivers is going to be the biggest problem. Alright, so I think I'm going to uninstall the AMD GPU, which is definitely going to throw all sorts of problems for OBS, and also then it's just not going to work. So, so we'll pop over to somebody's channel, let everybody get on with their evening, have a wonderful time, and I guess I'll just make this work, and then we can come back to it later. Let's pop over to Astrocanuck, who's doing some astrophotography tonight, and mail call. So I suspect he's going to be going over a bunch of the other emails and things that they have received. He is going to be starting stream in like 4 minutes. So, yeah, we can kill some time. We will just redeem anyway, because why not? Oh. I didn't actually get out to Eskrima this week because the instructor had a instructor is a software developer and had a release this week. So unfortunately, I think they released on, I can't remember if it was this morning or last night, but either way, yeah, he was a bit busy. Alright, where are we? Probably should go a little bit more that way. Which I mean, like, there's so much stuff in this room, I'm so sorry. So, basic warm-up first. Just make sure we have enough room. So again, Eskrima is a Filipino martial art that was first devised in response to local crime, organized crime institutions deciding that people's lives weren't really worth anything and they could just go around and take little knives and stab people, particularly right here under the ribs and up into the heart. Oops. So people got together and they were like, we're not having this. So whenever they came home from the fields, the farms, the jungles, whatever, they had machetes. And so this was a martial art that was devoted to helping people fight back against organized crime by using whatever they had to hand, specifically if they had machetes. So there were a few different ways to do this. Most of the time, you're taking your sword, and basically all you're doing is throwing it out and trying to strike at someone's head. So if you're hitting right there, you're often aiming for the temple right here. Or if you miss, then you're going to be possibly hitting them in the eyes, in the cheek, nose, mouth, and possibly throat if you get far enough through. So it is gruesome to think about, but at the same time, like, this was for people who were pretty desperate and being murdered on a daily basis. So the basic one-stick version has somebody start like this, where normally you're kind of hiding it behind your body so that the attacker doesn't really know what you're doing with it. And then, again, from here, we throw it out and try to make it even with our own head. Most of the time, this other hand is being used, one, to block any sort of counterattack with a dagger to the sternum or to your solar plexus right underneath. So you're kind of keeping this in this area. But when you go for an actual attack, you're kind of counterbalancing with the backhand. So you go like this. And then the second type is just twice of literally the exact same thing. It also does help when you have two, that this will counterbalance a lot easier. So this one's kept kind of in front of you to block anything. And then here, we're coming just back out like that. Again, counterbalance is helpful. And then the third is to go, it was single strike, followed by an overhead strike, followed by a single strike again. So and naturally, you usually want to do it on the other side as well, so that you're kind of keeping yourself. Wow, that was off by a lot. And then there's the outside version. So this is more of an open stance. You're much more vulnerable, but at the same time, for me, this is a lot more natural. And just striking out like that using an open stance. This also means that you're going to be doing a lot of different possible combinations. So going from an open stance strike, again, most of the time, you could be doing all sorts of stuff from here. So open strike, comes back to closed, does a single strike, and then, I don't know, we could do all sorts of stuff. So, like, one, two, that sort of stuff. And then we did our so-called sticks to heaven. So here we have one closed, one open. This was using a V-shaped strike to the head, and then low strike to the gut, swap. And usually this is a little bit right more toward the head again, and then this one drops in. And then we had our two from here, which go from the shoulder and forward strike, and then we're here. So yeah, that wasn't it. We're over the side. It was right. We're doing 1, 2 forward. Damn. No, shoulders. That's right. So 1, 2 forward. Sticks for here. And then back. Right. Okay. So we do actually swap the sides, and then we go backward to the shoulder. So try it again. So 2 forward. Sticks. 2 backward. Right. To the shoulder. Then this allowed us to also take this and do other combinations. So we could do 2 strikes this way with 2 strikes that way, 2 strikes this way with 2 strikes that way, a strike here, fan block, swipe down, and now we're in here. So we could do that, and then come back around like that to 2 shoulders again. There's just like so many different combinations, and again, I'm only like 10 weeks into this, so it's going to take me, all 3 years that I'm here to really even just get a basic understanding of this. I have been in my original karate organization for approximately 20 years prior to us moving to England. And we'd never done weaponry because that's a black belt thing, at least our in our style. Now, having been in the organization for almost 20 years and not a black belt, it's kind of an unusual situation where, like, I probably would have been a black belt had I gotten my crap together and actually done it. But the issue was, as it often is, that there was just a lot less time once you factor in that I was a teacher who had to go through and, grade homework and prep for the next day and all sorts of stuff like that. So, at any rate, I hope y'all have a good, where are we? Weekend. There we go. Have a good weekend. I'm going to try to, get a haircut or something and see if one of my other kids wants to go. Righto. Hope you have fun. We're going to go see Astroneer, like I said before. And I'll see you on, well, Tuesday certainly, but probably before then if I can actually get my Linux box working. So, hey, Henrik. Yep, sorry. But we'll see you next time. Things aren't working, Henrik, so I was just chatting and then doing some karate or Eskrima stuff. Yeah, so my name's Obi-Wan Pez. This is N Simplex Vichenko. We'll see you later.